Have you ever had to make a big decision? You know, like one of those decisions where once you made it, you have to be all in. You can't just go halfway in, you have to be all the way in. About 7 years ago, my family and I, we picked up our whole lives, everything we knew, and moved from Southern California all the way up here to Northern California. It was one of those moves where we knew when we made it, we had to be all in. This week, Jeremy challenged us to be all in the kingdom of God. Our sermon text this week came from Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. Jesus, he tells these parables about a guy who finds treasure buried in a field, and then he goes and sells everything he owns so that he can buy the field to obtain the treasure. Or it's like somebody who finds a pearl and then goes and sells everything they have so that they could obtain that precious pearl. You see, Jesus, what he's inviting his followers into is to be all in the kingdom of God. He's not asking them to make what his teaching and what he's about to be an additive to their life. It becomes their whole life. You see, Jesus isn't asking anything of his followers that he wouldn't do. You see, Jesus is all in. The writer of Philippians, Paul, he writes it like this in Philippians 2:7. But he emptied himself by taking the form of a slave and by becoming like human beings. When he found himself in the form of a human, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. You see, Jesus, he's all in all the way to the point of death. That word there for emptied himself is kenosis. It's this idea of self-emptying, self-giving. See, Jesus is all the way in. This week, we're going to discuss in our Life Lab groups, what does it look like for us to be all the way in the kingdom of God? Not just making Jesus an additive to certain points of our life, but being all the way invested, all the way in with all that we are into the mission of God.